All right, guys, this is going to be a good one, man. This is going to be a good one. We're going to be comparing and defining digital nomad, perpetual tourist. So if you are thinking about living in Costa Rica and you're thinking, how can I do this? And you've looked into this digital nomad new category, which we're going to explain and define, or what you've heard about, what's called a perpetual tourist. We're going to be looking at those and comparing them. So this is going to be a deep dive, man. So get your big coffee out. All right, guys. Anyways, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency. So go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com, fill out the 4-minute form, and you'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. We're like you, having best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. Hey, man, if you appreciate these videos, man, and you just want to show that appreciation, just hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know what every time I put out a video, hit the notification bell. That way you'll know anytime I have a new video. All right, there's a couple things we have to, there's some things I have to say to lay the groundwork and define these things. First of all, I'm going to be asking for anybody that lives in Costa Rica as a perpetual tourist, or who lives here and wants to chime in or give feedback or add commentary or just provide more info, because this is a kind of a this is a big encompassing video, so I might miss something. So it'd be nice if you guys that live here or have experienced some of these things can comment. I would totally appreciate that. Now, a lot of you guys watching this, you're thinking about residency or immigration, immigration, getting your residency and doing all those things. Now, real quick, I don't recommend the people that I used to recommend to help you with your residency. The reason I don't recommend them is because I still don't have my residency, and boy, if I don't get it through them, trust me, you'll see that video. You will see that video. I think I'm about getting ready to be thrown under a bus. Not sure yet, so we'll see. Anyway, guys, if you're thinking about residency or any of that, I have new people that I'm already getting good reviews on. I'm liking them. So if you need help with residency or those immigration questions, or that, since they have that new way, that investor category, and they've changed some of the incentives, you want to keep up with that, you want those questions answered, write me. I can direct you to those people, okay, that can help you with your residency immigration questions, okay? So if you don't know, they just passed a law where they're going to make digital nomad. I'm going to call it residency just to make it easier, but it's not really residency. It's actually a non-resident visa thing. I think it's filed under Astencia, but I don't want to, let's not make this more complicated. But they're making it a way so you can stay in Costa Rica for a year, and you guys know what a digital nomad is, right? It's pretty much somebody that can work anywhere around the world on their computer, right? We all know that. So that's what a digital nomad, and a lot of countries around the world are trying to make that a thing, to bring those digital nomads into their country so they can spend money there, right? Basically, that's what it is, to spend money there. It's an economic thing. So Costa Rica is no different. So they've been batting around this digital nomad law, and it just passed. So it's going to become a thing. So what is it? Now, I'm going to be comparing that digital nomad, staying in Costa Rica as a digital nomad, or staying in Costa Rica as a perpetual tourist, okay? Digital nomad over here, perpetual tourist over here. If you don't know what a perpetual tourist is, it is this. People that live basically in Costa Rica, but they are not residents. I did it for 12 years. D'Angelo still does it. He's been living here for 15 years as a perpetual tourist. What that means, he has to leave every 3 months. Nicaragua, Panama, United States, wherever, leave the country every 90 days. And then usually it's an immediate thing. You come right back in, usually, and you you have to have there's requirements to come back in, like you have to show that you're leaving again within 90 days. Again, I don't want to make this more complicated, but a perpetual tourist is someone that lives in Costa Rica and has to leave every 90 days, basically. It is sort of a loopholey thing, but the Costa Rica government is very well aware of it. There's a lot of people with houses here that aren't residents here, and perpetual tourism has been a thing for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. You know, a lot of my friends still do it. They are not residents here, okay? So what's the qualifications to become a digital nomad here? So what the law states is, if you meet these requirements, you can stay in Costa Rica for a year, and they can even extend it for another year. And maybe that will help. That actually, if you like it, let's say you want to obtain residency, it's probably going to help you with that process. But what you need is, you need to show Costa Rica that you have, in the past year, $3,000 coming in per month, and that you can obtain that, and you can keep that $3,000 going when you actually live in Costa Rica as a digital nomad. Now, if you want to bring family members, that goes from $3,000 to $4,000. So again, you would have to prove that you were making $4,000 prior, in the last year, and also that you can maintain that $4,000 when you are here. Okay, that's one thing. Now, perpetual tourist, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove anything, because again, you're leaving every 90 days. There's just, you're basically a tourist. Now, digital nomad, you also have to qualify. You will have to have medical insurance for that year. You'll have to show that you are going to be, you are insured for that entire year that you are here, or your family is here. So you got the $3,000 or $4,000 you have to show, and you also have to get medical insurance. Digital nomad. Perpetual tourist, well, they just changed it. You don't need insurance. Now, it's always been before COVID, you never had to show traveler's insurance to come into Costa Rica, okay? And you did during COVID. Well, they just nixed that if you are vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, you do not need to show any traveler's insurance. If you are not vaccinated, you would have to show that you have obtained traveler's insurance for those 90 days that you were going to be in Costa Rica, and every time you left and came back, you would need to provide that traveler's insurance if you are not vaccinated. Now, that whole vaccination thing is another thing. That's between you and your God. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm just telling you that's how it is here. It's not mandatory vaccination, but if you are not vaccinated, you will have to get traveler's insurance. Wait till that guy leaves. So also, to qualify for digital nomad, there's going to be a non-resident visa fee. I guess that's just like the application will say. They do not know what that fee is yet. I'm sure it's not too much. I don't know. Let's say a couple $100. I don't know, one-time fee to do all the application, I guess. So, and remember, digital nomad is for a year and can be extended to 2 years. Perpetual tourism is indefinite. We've been doing this shit for years. I know you see a lot of crazy stories, and they come out every now and then, and some people do have problems at the border every now and then, but by and large, if you have your paperwork in order, you are good as a perpetual tourist for any length of time. Again, years. I did it for 12, I was just talking, I said it in another video, there's a guy that's been here for 25 years, still does perpetual tourism, all right? So, if you become a digital nomad and you meet those qualifications, here's a couple things that will happen with you. You will get access to a local bank account. So that's kind of good, and that can be very beneficial. Now, as a perpetual tourist, getting a bank account is very hard, but I didn't have you don't need a Costa Rica bank account. I mean, especially nowadays with Schwab and all kinds of ways to get your money, you don't technically need a bank account. Yes, it would be nice. That obviously, digital nomad, great. You get that bank account, that's fine. But you don't really need one. I mean, I don't really. I have a Costa Rica bank account, but I do not use it very often. But again, it would be nice, right? So, also, okay, now you're a digital nomad. Your driver's license, your United States, wherever you're from, driver's license, as long as that is valid, you're good. You know, it's not expired. You will be good to drive in Costa Rica as a digital nomad. Well, as a perpetual tourist, as long as your passport, all your 90-day things are right, and you haven't overextended, your driver's license is only your United States driver's license is only as good as your passport. So if you're keeping your passport up and you're leaving every 90 days and you come back and you re-enter Costa Rica, it starts your driver's license all over again. I've heard some rumors that they're going to stop driver's license for that, you know, in Costa Rica. I've yet to see any clear evidence of that. That would be shooting themselves in the foot. Not that they wouldn't do that, but I don't see that happening. We'll see. But anyway, as a perpetual tourist, as long as your passport is current and you're good, coming in and out every, 80 days, 89 days or whatever, your driver's license is good as long as it hasn't expired from wherever you are. Okay? So that's pretty much it on like the comparisons. So the thing is, Let's look at a little bit of the advantages and disadvantages. So the advantages of being a digital nomad would be that, well, you don't got to leave Costa Rica for a year. You could stay here, the whole year, put into the economy, which is what they're looking for. They want you to, rent a car, buy local produce, your medical stuff here, all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're looking for the economy of it all, right? So, and you don't have to leave, and that's nice, And that provides less stress, all right? That's going to provide less stress for you as a digital nomad. The disadvantages to being a digital nomad, though, right now, is this is opinion, all right? This is an editorial, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit later. To me, as it's written now, how Costa Rica does things, there's just no reason really to be a digital nomad. If you literally have 3,000, 4,000 coming in every month, you're living like a king down here. And you can leave, go to Panama for a month, come back, go to Panama for 2 weeks, Nicaragua. You could be like a extended perpetual tourist. You're down here for 90 days, and then you leave wherever for however long. You got money, man. You got money. So let's wait 1 second. Can you hear that? Their little car speaker thing. A lot of times they're selling eggs or telling you about sales at the local refrigerator store. So if you have this much money, $3,000 or $4,000, I just don't see why you even would go through this process as it stands now personally. So as now perpetual tourism, the biggest advantage to me, there's a couple advantages and there's definitely a couple disadvantages. The advantage is you have time to see if Costa Rica is even right for you, especially if you're thinking about, okay, there's someone that just stays down here for a year or two. I get that. There's a lot of people do that, but there's a lot of people that end up wanting to stay here. Well, as a perpetual tourist, you can leave whenever you want. You haven't really invested a whole lot of money except for leaving every 90 days, which I still think would be less than the $3,000 or $4,000 you have to prove, and the medical insurance you have to have, the non-resident visa fee you have to pay. I still believe a perpetual tourist might be a little bit cheaper. But, you have time to see if Costa Rica is right for you. I tell everybody all the time, I don't know why. I gave you an immigration person that, I can recommend the immigration person if you really want to get your residency. But I tell everybody, you shouldn't even be thinking about your residency until like 2 years in. You shouldn't even be thinking about it. All right, there he is again. Here. My microphone picks up everything. So to me, the perpetual tourism gives you, it's kind of like renting versus buying. If you rent something, you can leave anytime, right? No harm, no foul. If you bought it now and you still want to be there anymore, now you have the stress of, getting your money back, selling the place and all that. And that's what the difference to me is perpetual tourism and getting residency, and perpetual tourism and this digital nomad thing. I understand what they're trying to do, and I applaud Costa Rica for moving in this direction. But the thing is, they got to fix their shit first. They can't just keep doing these things without fixing. Let's say this should have almost been a combined law. Somehow where they combine, make it easier for perpetual tourists to do it, to bring money in the country. The biggest thing with perpetual tourism that actually irks me, there are some perpetual tourists, I have friends that have done this, that have had medical problems and they can't pay for them. That's fucked, right? That's fucked up. So I would probably, if I was Costa Rica, I would try to, I don't know how they're going to do it, but add on some sort of health insurance thing for people that are, blatantly living down here. It's not hard. It's not too hard to look at a passport and see what somebody's doing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The best ones that do this are the ones that leave for a while, that, leave, go back to the United States for a month, come back, go to Panama once, come back. That way you could do this stuff for the rest of your life, because it's kind of perpetual tourist, but it's not, so the thing is, I like the digital nomad concept, and I think there's something there, but I really do believe they're going to have to get this other stuff. So for right now, why would you be a digital nomad? Why would you even prove anything? Just come down here with your money and do your computer stuff and your work, and you can either have travel insurance or be vaccinated, and you have to leave every 90 days, so what? Trust me, you got $3,000-$4,000 coming in a month. You're good, dude. You are good. Most people would love to be in that situation. So the only people to me that are going to probably do digital nomad stuff in Costa Rica are people that just have no idea how Costa Rica works. They see this thing called digital nomad and how you qualify for it. And I'm sure they'll expedite these. Well, they will. They'll expedite this digital nomad thing. I'm sure it's an application. It's going to be an application on the internet, and I'm sure this stuff will, But if you don't know about perpetual tourism, you'll go, well, I'll just, do this digital nomad thing. So I think Costa Rica's got to kind of regroup, fix some things before they move ahead. It's the same with all those incentives they're doing. I have that video about incentives they're trying to have. You to come live down here as a resident, and those tax incentive things. They gotta fix some other things first as well. So I hope I didn't complicate the issue too much. I hope you kind of get a perspective. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to tell you to try to beat the system. Hey man, if digital nomad works for you, do it. But the thing is, I just wish Costa Rica would kind of get it together and maybe intermingle these two ways of staying in Costa Rica a little longer than a perpetual tourist, and still they can make money off of us. I don't want to be. I'm not a freeloader here. When I was a perpetual tourist, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm hiring people here. I'm paying in. So. There's some people will say, oh, you're taking advantage. Well, no, I'm paying in to stuff. So I'd appreciate the feedback. I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure there's going to be nuances, and we haven't heard all the details about digital nomad. So please, I'm here to inform. That's all I do. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything. This is the difference between me and most people. I'm not trying to do anything. I try to tell you how it really is. Not what you read all the time, but how it really works here. So you can make the best informed decision that you can make based on all the knowledge you know. And that's what I try to provide. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Things are going to pop up, man. If you're thinking about living or traveling really anywhere, you should do your homework. But if it's Costa Rica, I'm putting my videos up against anybody's. Nobody kind of digs as deep as I think I do. I don't know. I don't think they do, but maybe they do. Anyway, guys, enjoy your weekend. Peace.